Hello. Good afternoon, all of you. Shortly, we'll start the session. Apurva, please start the session.
Yes, sir. So, good afternoon, everyone. This is Apurva Patil. At the outset, let me welcome Professor Swapnil Nitwai, sir, Placement Cell. The webinar will be hosted by Parth Shukla, sir, the co-founder of Microsoft Partners Network in association with Campus Hub. Sir, a very hearty welcome to VPPCOE&VA campus. To begin with, hello, sir, am I audible?
You are audible, but your voice is breaking in between, I guess.
Okay, sir. So now it's clear. Sorry, sir.
It's okay.
Let me welcome Parth Shukla, sir. So over to you.
Parth, sir, over to you, sir.
Okay, sir. So, okay, thank you everyone for having me. So one thing is sure, this session is not a very heavy session where I would be, sharing my life experiences about it. I will be focusing on three things that we have, mentioned in the
Sir,
inside.
just a minute, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Please
So
start, sir.
yeah, let me share my screen. And there is a small PowerPoint slideshow that I have created for briefing everyone why engineering, how to find your, track and pathway inside engineering degree, and what are the current scenarios of 2021, some top skills inside 2021 for every engineering graduate, and of course, what can be offered to you at a global platform. Okay, so summarizing these three things, I would be sharing my screen uh, to everyone. Just a second. Okay, so yeah. And if you have any question, do not hesitate in posting your question. Anyone student can help me out with the questions in chat section. Okay. In case if I'm missing out any of the question, we can take up those questions and answers and doubts at the last of our session also. Okay, so it will be a kind of 45 minutes of session followed by 15 minutes of doubts and whatever you want to ask. Okay, so let me start with this. Okay, so out of my experience of visiting a lot of colleges, working in Indian Oil, representing Microsoft for different global initiatives in engineering as well as management colleges, I have summarized my experience of lockdown, post lockdown scenario also. So one thing which but engineering is one discipline where it is combination of continuous learning. Now, when I say continuous learning, I'm not talking about your engineering subjects like programming or mechanical engineering or any domain. Okay, here I'm talking about learning with experiences, what you learn, and then how you dissipate that same skill into the society. So with this, let me share what exactly we will be covering. Like we'll be focusing on this session plan for the next 40-45 minutes, like why engineering degree is most sought job oriented course in Indian market. Whenever people say what to do, how to do, the first thing that comes into everyone's mind is let's see what is there inside engineering program. And that is the reason we have different vertical coming up: engineering in cyberspace, engineering in cloud computing, engineering with the specialization of e-commerce. So there are a lot of things going on. Then we'll talk about top 3 skills for an engineering graduate. What are top 3 skills? Now it can be a tech skill, it can be a non-tech skill, or it can be any kind of skill. Okay, so similarly, if I talk about inside 2021, keeping 2021 market where people are learning from home, people like me, people like Swapnil sir, they all are working from home. So what are the need of the demand need inside scenario for an engineering graduate? if they wish to go for higher studies, how they can plan for their higher studies right from their home. What are the jobs, internships available right from the home itself. And then we'll also talk about need of global skills, global practices, which are followed by global certifications. Planned it for next 40-45 minutes. Okay. And of course, most important thing, your doubts, your questions, and your scenarios which you want to ask. Okay. So I'm sure this agenda is clear to everyone. This is not something where I would be, sharing my life experience. I would be just sharing what I personally feel about this thing. Okay. So if I talk about engineering, we all know we have creative mind, we have, an mind which works on logic. But engineering is one discipline where we majorly focus on answering this question. And this question is about how to bring practicality of whatever skills we have gathered inside our learning. I remember I started with learning programming. I'm from an IT domain. And throughout that learning, the most important question that we have to answer was, can you solve a real world problem with that learning or not? If you can solve, you mean you have a worth in the market itself. So similarly, it's not about earning, it's not about having a good job offer, it's more about making a difference. It can be in your society, it can be in your family, it can be in your company, organization, whatever it is. Okay. So if I want to divide these skills, what are the skills through which you can actually create a difference? So broadly classification can be in terms of soft skill, like what you do with your human nature, and technical skills. Okay, how you work with a machine, work with a tool. Now it goes with every engineering domain. Okay, it's not only specific to computer science, IT. It goes with every engineering domain. Okay, so these are the two skills for which we are primarily responsible while we are undergoing a professional degree course like BTech or BE. Okay, and it is very much required to have a good understanding, a kind of understanding where we stand and what we are learning, if not on daily basis, at least on monthly and weekly basis, especially in this situation where we are all sitting at home and we have a lot of time as per our plans. So keeping soft skill, a lot of people talk about an engineering graduate, why should I focus on soft skill? What is so important about these kinds of skills? I'm not an HR, I'm not preparing for a management profile, and probably I will not talking to people. That is the reason more than 70% of the people are they are filtered at stage 1 of any recruitment process, irrespective of their technical knowledge, irrespective of their good marks, irrespective of their hands-on experience of any kind of job or internship. The reason is your soft skill determine you as a person. Okay, so right from the first year, we generally focuses on creating groups, working and closing group assignments, and a lot of students think that what is the need of giving up a presentation in first year. So I personally feel it's not about that technical research, it's more about your confidence and of course the way you handle queries. So your soft skill actually shows what kind of a person you are, how good you are in adaptation. That is the reason people with good soft skill take these kinds of leaps early into their career. Within 1 year and 2 years, they master every tech skill, they master this art of influencing people with their skills. Okay, so if I summarize what are the top soft skills, of course there are a lot of soft skill. Your soft skill learning program in your campus might be able to give you a deeper insight, but what I personally feel and what is the trending scenario, your soft skills are divided into a lot of bifurcation. Out of that, leadership, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. These are major skills. And then the skill which is most in demand, especially for people who are from this Mumbai suburban area, people who are from Pune suburban area, entrepreneurship. I personally feel everyone should know the degree of entrepreneurship, irrespective of the fact whether you want to start with your own company or not, because this sense of entrepreneurship can help you in understanding your real scenario. Okay, so you take an example of leadership, you take an example of communication. These all skills shapes you so that you can work with group, how well you can gel up with people of different mindset, people from a different set of society, sometimes people from a different altogether country where there is no common feeling. So it's not always about you working with your person from the same community, but it can be you working with someone who doesn't understand anything about your community. So soft skill plays a very important role in life of an engineer, and that is the reason few people are really influensive. Okay, they can go to any domain, even after engineering they can go to anything, and they can create their career of own choice. Sometimes your soft skill, if you ask me, sometimes your soft skill also gives you developing a second choice of career after certain amount of time. So you might be thinking that a lot of people in your Mumbai suburban area, they are good with vlogging, they are good with designing, they are good with creating short, writing blogs. They all are directly related to their soft skill, which helps them in mastering other skills. Okay, so this is one track which every engineering candidate should master. If not master every, you should at least know about where you stand. Okay, and that is the reason a lot of good companies, you talk about Fortune 500 companies, they have series of steps where a candidate appear for their recruitment, a candidate appear for their placement through a series of soft skill filtration process. Then comes the most important part of every engineering graduate. Now here I'm focusing majorly on IT and CS. Okay, but in 2021 there are a lot of domains which have been flourishing. Okay, you might have seen CEO of Google. I'm sure everyone knows who is the CEO of Google. uh, is he from an IT domain, like a person who is coming from a master degree in computer science? Anyone who knows that? You can also let me know in chat section. So let me give you an idea for it, that sometimes your hobby, your learning can help you in getting a good track, career track where you can master new skills. Let's take an example. If I talk about top 3 tech skills, okay, in terms of IT and computer science, so I'll categorize them into front end web development, where a lot of e-commerce companies, a lot of website dependent companies are coming directly into the market. So this kind of front end development, back end development, and sometimes people say it full stack development. Okay, where you can take care of your front end as well as database also. So if you talk about those front end and back end development, this is the most important thing in 2021, where people are going mad and they are madly searching for people with good front end experience. And that is the reason a lot of skills related to how you create user interface, how you create UI UX of a website, how you create simple responsive page, so that people can come to your website and they can place an order and they can get your service or goods delivered right at their doors step. This is the need where every company is looking out for such kind of skilled resources. Then comes the next wave of skill development, which majorly talks about data science and machine learning. A lot of people says that data science and machine learning is not for freshers, which is partly true, because data science and machine learning is not something where you get a job right from your 3rd year. But let me tell you something. So is cybersecurity. So is project management. All these domains, and similarly cloud computing. All these domains does not promise you a job right from your 3rd year, but they prepare you for your long-term goals. So the key to master any skill is not something that you will get a job right after you complete some extra course or you complete your engineering. It's not like that. So sometimes you invest for a long-term vision, so that over a period of 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, or maybe sometime 2 year, your career will be shaping as per your expectation. So data science and machine learning is a long-term investment, where later in your life, after your 4th year, you can think in terms of developing projects which solves real world problem, okay, and related to data science and machine learning. So I'm using these two terms interchangeably. Now, if you are focusing on that, so the right tool will be something like Python programming, working with Python packages, working with Python frameworks, followed by a knowledge of R programming for analyzing data. Now, this is the second most in demand skill right in front in 2021. There comes the project. A lot of people pays very less attention to these kinds of things, like what should we do when what people are doing in GitHub, what people are doing in DevOps, are they using any Scrum methodology? Now, these are terminology which are frequently used in your engineering. So similarly, if you follow any software development lifecycle model, you should be clear about what is a stage one, where requirements of a website, of a web application or an ERP is laid down, followed by the final design, testing, acceptance, and documentation part. So this whole cycle of developing a project majorly talks about project management skills, and there are a lot of tools for it. Okay, so these three things are in demand. Now, apart from that, there are things related to cloud computing. Okay, there are things related to cyber security also, which are evergreen. They are always in demand. They will be in demand. But why I'm telling you these three domains, in specific, because these three domains are growing at an exponential rate. Okay, number of internships are, if you check it LinkedIn, you'll always find a lot of internships in all these domains, especially front end data science. And if you can elevate to a next level which involves a lot of management related information, there comes the project management part, especially for people who want to pursue a management degree after their engineering. So these are top 3 skills in 2021. Now, coming back to the next part, like if these are the top 3 skills, what is there for us, for people who are in 3rd year, for people who are in 4th year, moving to 4th year, okay, or for people who are in their 4th year and then they are thinking what to do right now. So here is the simple idea how you can plan up your career right into your engineering. How can be your own counselor? You don't have to depend on any tool or any person in demand. Now, we should keep one thing in mind, that due to work from home, a lot of companies are now working in a global platform. Let's take an example. I used to travel a lot. In fact, I used to travel to your campus. I used to travel to different campus right away, from Bangalore to Mumbai to Pune to Jammu to Kolkata, all these places. But in lockdown, in this example, so you know how to create a good logo design. Now you can master this art right from your home to any particular global standard. Okay, so these skills are not at a regional level, they are not at a national level. These skills can be achieved, developed at a global level. Okay, and that is the reason, that is the power of global standard. You can get hired for a company which has a registered office in UK or in Australia. So your placement is not at all limited to a particular area of 500 kilometers or 100 200 kilometers. You can get an enrollment, you can get an placement right away from some other country and company based in some other country. Okay, so skills are going at global level. There comes the practices. Now, there was this time when people used to people used to ask other their alumni that what is the need of mastering this art of writing a cover letter. I'm sure everyone knows that cover letter is different from a resume. Okay, so now if you want to apply to a company like Netflix or to apply a company like Infosys, so you can directly go to the career section, write a cover letter why you are a good candidate for this particular profile, or what makes you a good candidate, what are your skills, what are your internships, your projects that you have, and even your events, your hackathons, your tech events where you have participated, and then you can talk about your skills. So those practices are now becoming global. You can participate at a global hackathon conducting at some places like UK, Australia, or anywhere, and you can get an acknowledgement from there. So practices are going global, and then following your skills which are being stamped by global vendors like Microsoft, Cisco, or somewhere like Red Hat, or it can be like Google. Lot of these vendors, lot of these companies are certifying your skills, that what you know is as per their standard. Okay, so these are three things that is creating the difference, especially at this time where people can learn from any source right away available on internet. Okay, so coming back to the second part of this global standard comes initiative, how global certifications, those stems, those assessments. Okay, I'll take up an example of global certification. So let's take an example. If you are planning to go to Canada for a master's program, okay, so what do? You appear for an English exam. You appear for an English exam, which is divided into three categories. The category number one is speaking English. Category number one is writing, written English, and then third category is how good you are with understanding English. Okay, so reading, writing, and listening are three parts on which it is analyzed. Are you good enough to get yourself in a a university that majorly talks majorly has a universal language like English? Okay, so that is a platform where you have to appear for an exam. And similarly, you have other exams like MAT for your management things. So you have CAT, and then similarly you have GRE, GMAT, all those exams also. So those global exams gives you a stamp that this person knows this kind of skills, and we certify that. So similarly, you have certification coming from different vendors also. Okay, is there a question in the chat section? If you can help me out with this. Okay, I'll take up those questions. Yeah, right away. Yes, so it is there just after finishing up with this. Yeah, so I'll take up these questions in the last 10 to 15 minutes. And if it is allowed to you, you can also unmute yourself, or you can post up your questions in the chat section itself. Okay, so what I'm trying to explain you here is that even if you know how to write a letter, you can certify that skill at a global level. Okay, even if you know how to claim property, or how to file for a patent, technical patent, you can actually have a exam and a certification that you are a registered patent officer. It can be from an Indian organization, it can be from a global organization. So the point, the moral of this particular discussion is, any skill which you have, it can be painting, writing, writing lyrics, it can be as simple as doing yoga. You can be a certified candidate by some international vendor that makes your certification equally eligible in every part of the world. Okay, so let's say if you know how to create a web page, so a web page certifying authority, it can be Microsoft, it can be if you know how to do SEO, search engine optimization, Google can provide you a certification, and that certification holds same value everywhere, not only in India but outside India also. So that is the power of global recognition which you can get. Okay, now why there is so uniqueness about the certification. The reason is very simple. Your assessments are mapped to the global standard. Okay, so it's not something that I would be certifying that you are good with web designing, or someone from the university will be giving you a certificate, but someone who owns that product. Let's say in case of Microsoft, owns Microsoft Office. Sometimes we have universal platforms like Python, web development, database, cloud computing, security. So all these domains, and it can be any other domain also. Sometimes like Adobe provides you a certification on Photoshop because they own the product. So a unique assessment style, a kind of a global standard-based assessment gives you a hands-on experience. Okay. Now these hands-on experience, hands-on practicals helps you in understanding, can you use that skill for your living? Can you work for a company if you are, part of that skill, particular skill? So now these global standards also helps you in getting a good kind of, getting a good confidence. Now let's take an example. There are three things which we generally have in our mind. One thing is, I know how to create a web page. Okay, I can create a web page, and I have created a web page for a company, and that company gives me a letter in front of me. This guy knows how to create a web page, and this gives them a sense of, accomplishment. We call it a kind of a self belief that they can represent this particular skill in some company. Okay, so ultimately giving them increase in confidence, making them industry ready, having an idea of, domain experts, and of course they can plan their next innings from their particular skill. Okay, so this is why global certifications are now becoming a generalized standards when people are working from home, especially when people are giving exams from home, and sometimes when universities, and CBSE boards and all these boards are promoting students on the basis of their previous historical performance. Just think about it. The recruitment process will get very difficult, very challenging, because practically everyone is being promoted to a next year, to a next level. So if everyone is being promoted, how you will make a difference in your candidature? So if you want to say that you are a good candidate, perfectly fit for a company, you need to prove a lot by your soft skills, by your tech skills. Okay, so this is how I want to, showcase it. Now there are a lot of tech skills, there are a lot of, exams where you can say that you are different from other people, because when someone says, why should I hire you, all our answers indirectly focuses on how you are different from your group, from your classmates, and from other candidates who are coming from different part of, country. So this is how you can, take up this thing. Okay, now do not hesitate in posting your question. If you have any question, okay, I can take up those questions also right away from the chat box. Okay, and we'll be taking up those questions for the last part of, 15 minutes. I'm sure I'm on time. Okay, yes, great. So this is how a sample certification of coming from Microsoft looks like. Now this is for an exam which is conducted on Python, and some people, some people have a tendency, in order to be a certified candidate, I need to have a lot of experience. People say that, in order to be a certified developer, in order to be a certified database administrator, or maybe a cloud expert, you need to invest a lot of time in, learning for that skill and then appearing for that assessment. And what if I'm not able to clear that exam? So let me tell you a deep insight of my experience. I have been appearing for a lot of exams every year. Recently I appeared for an exam on Azure. I'm planning for an exam on artificial intelligence, all from Microsoft. So being a Microsoft certified, trainer, I personally believe every exam, is tough and is easy. And there is a reason to it, why I'm saying it is tough as well as it is easy. If you are preparing for that exam, let's take a very simple example of, the most difficult exam in Indian education system. I'm sure everyone knows what is the most difficult exam. Which exam is the most difficult exam? Let me check the chat section. Anyone? Anyone who knows what is the most difficult exam in Indian education system? UPSC, civil services. Himanshu is saying JEE. Yeah, you can say GATE, great. Okay, you can say JEE is one of the most difficult, but nothing beats UPSC. So if I talk about UPSC, lot of people, are not able to clear UPSC, and still their life, their success has a different meaning. So sometimes you prepare for an assessment, you prepare for an exam, and in that preparation, you find out your real skill. So if someone asks me how this exam will help me in becoming a very successful, let's say, developer. So let me tell you, this exam will not make a difference. This is just a piece of paper. That preparation, that amount of time, that goal in your mind is actual learning. Okay. So this comes with the same logic. That engineering degree, which is, which is right in front of you, maybe, coming to your desk after a few months or a year, will not make a major difference. A lot of lakhs of graduates are coming in Indian education system. A lot of people are coming from, management degrees also. Degrees are there for your, confidence. What makes a difference is the journey, how good you have invested, how quality time you have invested while mastering that skill. Okay. So it's not just about an achievement, it's about preparation for that achievement. So sometimes when you prepare for an assessment, keeping that assessment as a goal, you overcome a lot of fear, you overcome a lot of self, belief, lot of quite doubts, that you can also prepare for something like this. So these kinds of exams are like, whether you are destined to be a developer, or you should try your hands into testing. Okay. Whether you are destined to be a person who can talk to machine, or you are really good at talking to people, which means a slightly orientation towards management, maybe project management. Okay. So this is how these exams, which are, conducted for a from a point of view that it's not just a technology, it's the way of, living like a developer, living like an networking associate or a security engineer. Okay. I personally believe in this. Along with this global certification, or a global exam, or a global assessment, you can take up anything. There comes a lot of scenarios, like they are not only in one domain. You might be thinking Microsoft is a tech giant, so they only think of in terms of their own products, like Microsoft Server, or maybe something like web domain of web development. It's not like that. I'll take up an example of Microsoft, and this example goes with a lot of different vendors. Okay. Now Microsoft provide different tracks. Now one track is web development, another track is database, another track is, working with security. Then comes the track of cloud computing, working with Azure. So all these domains have more than 40 plus examinations, and those 40 plus examination works with the level also. Some of them are at a beginner level. So all beginner level exams are known as Microsoft Technology Associate, since they are associate level exams. And then comes the expert part. Then comes the another level of expert part. And they are not only in technology. If you talk about people who have a management orientation, right away in engineering, they have examinations on Office 365. They have examinations on as simple tools as PowerPoint, advanced Excel, expert Excel, things like that. Okay. So these exams can give you a deeper insight. And these are completion badges. You might have seen a lot of completion badges people have been posting on their resume, from Microsoft, from Red Hat, from Cisco, from SAPs. Different companies provide those kinds of, badges when you complete any hurdle. Okay. Now along with this, I personally believe that for every exams, those exams should have a validity, or sometimes they should be, have a digital authentication mechanism. Okay. So these exams, how you authenticate it, yeah, they are provided by, CE of Microsoft, signed by them. You can go to a digital signature, you can click on it, and you can provide a 6-digit, 8-digit code to verify when you appeared and how you appeared. So since with this lockdown situation, working from home situation, you all can appear for any of these assessment right from your home. Just like you can prepare for these exams from your home, you can master any skill from your home. These exams can also be appeared from home. So for Microsoft, it is provided by CEO of Microsoft. For Google, for Adobe, they have their own different authority for it. Okay, so that's how we say that these are global exams with global standards, keeping in mind. Now, similar to this, sometimes people fall for failure. What if they are unable to prepare? What if they prepare but didn't get much confidence in clearing the exam, because most of the time these exams have very high standards. Okay, so when I say high standards, I'm not talking about 35% of university passing criteria or board passing criteria. Neither I'm talking about 50%. In order to clear a subject, they are as high as 70%, and in some cases it can go up to 80%. So if you score 70% in that assessment, then only you will be a Microsoft certified developer or a professional. Okay, so what happens with this process, we tend to take choices because of failure. What if I am unable to understand? What if I prepare but somehow I can able to clear the exam, but when it comes to projects, I'm unable to clear a project, I'm unable to create a project. So my point, my experience says that uh, everyone can fail in their respective domain. Like at this time, anything, any failure can happen. My electricity can go wrong or disconnected, my internet can be disconnected, anything can happen. What makes us comfortable is what you will do once you are facing that situation. So it's not about failing in an exam, not appearing for that exam, or maybe avoiding some situation. It's about how optimistic you are with that learning. Okay, so I'll take up one activity if you all are comfortable. Okay, for 2 minutes. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do some right away. Is something like, I'll share you these 3 questions where you can track your roadmap. A lot of people say that, can you suggest us some activity where I can find out whether I am into a right roadmap or not? So for technical students from any domain, can be first year students from any engineering, these are 3 questions. It's a 5-minute activity. What you have to do is you just have to note down points to these questions. So the first thing that you need to ask, if you are from first year or second year, is what all skills you have acquired till now. So you can say it's a skill development tracking. What all skills you have acquired till now. It can be your resume writing skills, it can be presentation skills, it can be programming skills, UI UX designing skills, whatever it is, blogging, social media, whatever you feel. Please do not write dancing and singing as a skill. It doesn't make any sense to it until and unless you create a company like Musically or TikTok. Okay, so what are your skills in your first and second year, if you are in your first and second year? Okay, if you are in your third year, you have to go to question number 1 and question number 2. What all skills you are planning in next 2-3 months, since third year students have limited time. Okay, so what are skills you are planning in next 2-3 months, keeping 2-3 months, like you would be attending all those classes from home. So are you planning anything for next 2-3 months? And then finally, for people who are into final year, or people who are into third year as well, what are top 3 job profiles as per your skills? Sometimes we want to be a data engineer, sometimes we want to be a social media marketer, but we hardly invest in our skill. We believe that something might happen and we will get a good job and some really good package and some social recognition. Okay, something which should happen automatically. So this is a very simple activity where in 5 minutes you can track what you have done, what you are planning to do. Okay, and how well you are planned, how you have planned it for you. Okay, so that's how you can do it. If you want, I can share you a screenshot of this, okay? Or you can take a screenshot right away from my screen also. Okay, so this is a simple activity for it. Okay, so I'm sure you all have written this and you'll remember it. So if you're done with it, you can answer this, okay? And I'll tell you how well you can easily find out what you have done and how well you're going into it, or selecting your roadmap. Okay, so after this I'll show you a small video and let me know if voice is audible to everyone. It's a small short 2 minutes video. Okay, any one student or Swapnil sir, if you can let me know if this is audible to you.
Learning. Students have been doing it for thousands
Is it audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
of years. But we've come a long way since then. And now, to work with our modern tools, students often need to learn almost every single day of their lives, and sometimes prove they've mastered the tools through a process known as certification. Should us already. But thank goodness for Certiport, who pioneered the certification pathway, learn, practice, certify. The certify part, pretty self-explanatory, but the learn and practice, it's got a lot of components, variables, which is why Certiport gave to the world learning products. Learning products is a set of materials, tools, and resources created by Certiport partners and publishers like these to assist teachers and prep students for a whole slew of certifications. And with course materials, including books, manuals, study guides, practice tests, all mapped directly to the certification exams, your students will be ready for their big day. No, not that day, your certification day. Look, everybody who knows that certification helps your students stand out, come prepared, and defend themselves in both college and the workforce. I mean, you wouldn't send a noob into a dungeon crawl with a bunch of trolls, would you? Sorry. No, I couldn't agree more. The point is, teachers, you want to help your students like this bright young man here certify. And learning products makes your job easier and more effective with features and functionality for both you and your students. Just have a look at this. Look at these features. Just look at them. That is cool. Isn't that nice? LMS, baby. But none of this would be possible without practice tests. Look at this stuff. Isn't that nice? So how do you get started? By working with a certified representative. That's right, a good old-fashioned human being. Why, you ask? Why use humans? Because teachers, testing centers, CTE directors, curriculum developers, anyone involved in preparing students for certification, you're humans too. And each of you have different needs, scopes, and budgets. And another human, a Certiport representative, is the best way to make certain you get the easiest, fastest, and most cost-effective pathway for you to certify your students. Yes, we've learned a lot throughout the years. Namely, don't play with fire. And had we had learning products back then, we'd be on a far better and faster pathway to success. Learning products, the pathway to certification success.
Okay, so that was a quick video how certification are important and how you can plan up your roadmap. Okay, so a quick reminder to everyone that we have posted some information in your chat box regarding what all exams are there, what all things you can plan. Having a plan, I'm talking majorly in terms of keeping some short-term goals, like in a semester, what are the skills that you want to master? Or maybe, having a long-term vision within 2 years, or maybe by third year, what are the internships that you need to try? Sometimes, people have orientation towards non-conventional things, okay? Maybe something from an unorganized sector, and they can really do good into that. Okay, when I say unorganized sector, something which does not require a multinational company, or that does not require a formal experience on it. Yeah. So similarly, if I talk about a long-term vision, you can decide whether you have an orientation towards organized sector, means MNCs, or maybe an unorganized sectors. Now, then you have a lifetime mission statement also. Okay, how you want to go ahead with what you want to do in your life, maybe after engineering, maybe after 10 years, maybe after 5 years, how you want to give back to the society. So this is a very simple plan where you can create a roadmap. Another thing is no goals, like I don't know what to do, no plans, like within a semester I hardly care what to do, and of course I don't know what to do in my life. So it's always better to have a plan. So we, your campus, Vasantdada campus in Mumbai, is a Certiport registered training centers, not from last this year, maybe from almost last 6 years. I have visited your campus for more than 4 or 5 times, not only for conducting exams, but also for conducting lot of workshop programs. Lately on, Raspberry Pi, IoT, machine learning, game development using Python. Earlier, 5 years back, we used to conduct a lot of programs on uh, .NET programming, Windows application development, web application development, ASP.NET. And we have observed that a lot of people have a tendency towards non-conventional jobs, non-conventional domains also. So you can always explore your conventional job domains and non-conventional job domains, maybe MNCs, or maybe it can be your own startup. This year also we are planning up is a kind of a certification program that majorly focuses on global exams, focus on Python programming, game development, and web development using Python. I'm sure you might have been, listening and reading and getting a lot of text on it. So this particular program, it revolves around starting from the scratch, preparing you for a project so that ultimately you can be certified from Microsoft and you can represent yourself into the industry, into the internships, saying that it's not just about domain knowledge, it's about hands-on experience also. Okay, having a plan, going with the short-term goals, having long-term vision, ultimately having a clarity for your lifetime mission. Okay, this I personally believe. Now with this, I just want to quickly recap before we take up questions and answers from your chat section, what we have done in today's session. And it's a very fruitful, activity when you know how to summarize this. And this is something we should know. Okay, what is all about inside engineering, why engineering is the most important domain, what are the top skills, what are global recognition for an engineering graduate, and how to have your own action plans. Okay, right away when you are studying all these things. Okay, so the key is not to sit for some opportunity to come. Create a skill, master a skill, so that you create your own opportunity. Okay, now this is what I wanted to share. Now if you have any question, you can ask. And so thank you very much for your time. Before I say thank you, let me take up any questions if you have in your mind. A lot of students ask me, so what is the way to get into a Microsoft internship? So this is what Mr. Swapnil Desai has shared for the exams for global certification. Feel free to explore that. Okay, and if you have any question, you can let me know about that also. If you have any question that you want to ask, let me know about it. I would be happily answering that. Okay, so till the time we have some time remaining. How about preparing for an internship of Microsoft or representing your college in Microsoft Imagine Academy? A lot of students ask me how to be a Microsoft partner student, how I can represent my campus. Can I initiate a Microsoft club in my campus? We have discussed a lot of time with your training and placement in charge, Mr. Swapnil Desai, like how easy it is to start a community of programmers right away in your campus. And it is very easy. What you need to do is you just need to go for an application process, okay, where you can apply directly for a student partner. Okay, now how to apply for a student partner? You just need to visit this site, which is Microsoft Student Ambassador Program. Okay, there is no prerequisite for it. If you have done something really good in your campus, like conducting an hackathon, winning an hackathon, participating in a tech event, or if you have volunteered for any tech event in your campus, so you can be a Microsoft Student Ambassador. You just need to apply for it. Application is very simple. The best thing is a student from first year, second year can also apply. Final year students, sometimes they do apply, sometimes their applications are rejected, but anyone from any year, in fact from any domain, can apply. Okay, it is mostly preferred by IT and computer science student, but anyone can apply. Now what happens when you are actually a Microsoft Student Ambassador? You get a chance to create a community, you get a chance to participate in global platform, where a lot of student ambassadors are coming from respective regional engineering colleges, very prestigious IITs and NITs, sharing their experience of skill development. So you are a part of a global workforce, okay, and you get a lot of recognition as a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. Okay, you get to create a difference, you get to become a leader in your local tech community, you get to upskill yourself. A lot of Microsoft certifications are offered along with technical upgradation programs. So this is one. These are the student badges. You start from a alpha, then you go to a beta, and finally you get into a gold category. Okay, I'm sure you are all aware that Microsoft has initiatives in different fields like augmented reality, virtual reality. So they all have domain expertise with these things. Okay, and some of the student leaders which you can cross check are from India also. Like she's the one from a very famous engineering college in India, Women's Engineering College. You get a chance to meet them, you get a chance to participate in tech forum. So this application process is very simple. You get a chance to participate in Imagine Cup, an annual event conducted by Microsoft for programmers. Okay, and then you get some chance for Microsoft Reactor live stream. Okay, Microsoft Developers live stream. Okay, sometimes when before COVID era, students were invited to different championships also abroad, sometimes in India. So this is something which you can explore right away for student ambassador program, and this is all free of cost. You just have to apply for it, go through the application process. You have to create a small video talking about your own introduction, and that's it. Okay, that's the whole story. So I'll just keep this thing posted in chat. Now we have been doing a lot of activity in your campus from last 5 to 6 years. And this time also we are planning up to go for a certification program. You can query related to it. You can query related to in general certification programs. Okay. Now, if you want to know more about certification program, I'll give you a link where you can, get into a detail of it. Go to certification and select Microsoft. So if you go to Microsoft certification, there you'll have a category like Microsoft Certified Fundamentals, Microsoft Office Specialist, and Microsoft Technology Associate. Okay, so this is how you can collect more information about these exams. These exams are valid for lifetime. They are not something like they are valid for few months or for few years. Okay, you can showcase yourself, your skills right away when you are certified. Okay, and if you want to know, if you want to ask anything, you can ask me. I can answer it, or else if you are feeling shy about anything, I'll share you my detail. You can always connect to me on my LinkedIn profile. You can search me Parth Shukla on LinkedIn. and I am a founder of a company which deals in global certifications, web development, and of course software licensing and reselling. And I'm a person who can help you out with lot of thought process, lot of questions if you have any in your mind related to any kind of skill development or any kind of software related query. So this is my LinkedIn profile link. Just search for Parth Shukla, and you can write it out Microsoft or Delhi. You'll find out in top 3 categories. Okay, so that's it from my presentation scenario, and thank you very much for listening to me so patiently. Your patience is awesome, and I know you all have participated, and you've been listening to me for almost 45 minutes. It's almost 4 o'clock. Okay, it's always a pleasure talking to uh, Visandhara College students, sharing our experience, and yeah, you want recording? Okay. Okay. So I'm not sure whether we'll have recording, but I guess we are showing it on YouTube also. Is it there, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can watch it, but I don't know whether this really good likes you want to rewatch everything on recording basis. I would have taken up a blazer if I know the people are looking for recordings. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sure this is a helpful interaction for everyone out there, thinking to create a remarkable career. All the best for your skill. And
So there are some question in the chat box. Can you please check this?
yes. Yeah, so all these courses are paid. I'll tell you. So how this goes, all those assessments everywhere are paid, and sometimes you have to pay it in terms of dollar. But since your campus, Vasandhara campus, is a partnering institution with Microsoft Imagine Academy, so you don't have to bear the cost of exams in dollars. You just have to pay an assessment fees, and that assessment fees includes everything. That includes the cost of training, that includes the cost of mock test, that includes the cost of resources. Everything is part, and some most of the payment is done by uh, the college itself, because these are discounted vouchers, discounted exams. And most of the time, being a student, you get a lot of benefits also. Okay, so yes, these exams are paid. These exams are not free of cost, and most of the exams which are conducted at a global level are paid certification. Yeah, it's a scenario for every exams. Sometimes you have to pay a lot of money. Okay, sometimes it's just an assessment charges. Yeah.
So we have one more question from Sairaj.
Yes.
He's asking what are the upcoming courses?
Okay, what are the upcoming courses? I'll let you know about one thing, that if you talk about what are we planning in your campus, of course, Mr. Swapnil Desai would be the right person. But we are planning up a Python web development, game development training, where we'll focus on Python packages. This is one thing. Apart from that, we have been doing all these activities on yearly basis. So last year also we planned up an activity on same. If required, we'll be planning up something on web development also, something on cloud computing using Azure also. So this is what we have in plans, but at one time we should focus on one activity at a time. So this time it is Python certification, which starts from a beginner level and it goes to a pro level, where you can create a project, you can work with APIs, services, frameworks, and classes. So that is what being planned in Vasandhara campus for students. And for other things, you have to you have to contact Mr. Swapnil Desai, the pioneer in your training and placement domain. So he'll be helping you out with what are the things which have been planned. Yes.
Also, sir, we are giving the benefit to the other college students also, because other college students and the TP also attending this session.
Yeah. Okay.
So we are giving the benefit to the other college students also.
So
we have already shared the link of the courses about the game development and web development using Python. The registration link already on the chat box. So if anyone is interested, to please join this and get the benefit.
Any other
So
question?
over to you, sir.
Okay, so if we don't have any questions, so should we conclude it? If you have any questions, anyone who want to ask, feel free to post questions. Except my personal life, you can ask anything from me if you want to ask.
There is a one question, sir. It's
Yes.
there is a course for full stack web development.
Yeah. So full stack web development is something which is required majorly by organizations which are into either e-commerce industry or somewhere where they are focusing on web development at a core part. So there is no one course, but there are a lot of capsule of courses which are created where first you can think of planning a web development, front end development, and slowly slightly you can develop your database skills also. So database is again an evergreen field. So if you develop your database skills, any domain you can go, and anywhere this will be a benefit to you. So you have to create a capsule of courses on your own, but one thing at a time. So front end and back end gives you access to a full stack development. There are a lot of languages like Python is one of them which caters to full stack development. You can develop a back end, you can develop a front end also, and this will also be a good start to your career. So Sumera is asking how to get an internship at Microsoft, what exams we have to give. Okay, so if you are thinking to get an internship at Microsoft, the answer is very simple. You have to appear for their website, go to their website, apply for that internship. Most of them are from technical domain. Some of them are from non-technical domain also. Now there is no clear assessment that you clear an assessment and you will be entitled for a Microsoft internship. It purely depends on how good you have developed your skills. And it's not only about Microsoft. You can also check for Google, you can also check for Adobe. All these students who are working in these work companies as an intern, the one thing is common, they have been developing their skills right from their first year and second year. So once they develop their skills with number of series of skill development activities, sometimes in the campus, sometimes outside the campus, you can easily crack that interview process for an internship. That's very easy then. Okay, so that's how it goes.
So one question is that can you please elaborate the courses which we are going to conduct? Python, game development, web development using Python means which type of benefit we are giving to the student, and what's the duration of the course?
Yes, I'll give you an idea. Like what happens. We generally master a language and then we create a project. Okay, and that's how we generally do for a technical skills. But when it comes to Python, the real power of Python lies inside its packages, and lot of packages are there for different domain. So one step is mastering Python. Second step is using Python packages for different domains. Now that domain first can be a game development scenario where you can create a good looking game with graphics, and you can create its executable file. You can share it with people for their opinion. Second thing is developing a web page with again frameworks which are there for web development like Flask, Django. Okay. Third domain is how you can use those similar Python packages for analyzing data. Maybe for sending data and retrieving, and then creating some kind of models on it. So Python technology will remain same. Its application will be on game development, on web development, and a bit of introduction working with how to work with data analysis where you want to analyze your data. So that covers three different vertical. You knowing the language, you creating something using that knowledge, and finally you appearing for a Microsoft certification right from your home. So that makes a very good situation where you can sit and confidently clear or maybe crack an interview. So that is what we have planned. I am, feeling very good that still 40 plus audience is listening to me. But if you have, any question, anytime, you can post it. These are very general questions. A lot of students ask me. I'll give you a very simple question scenario. What is the time? Is it a good time to go for a interview to join a job, or should we invest into our skills? I was a bit surprised that nobody was asking me, but this is a time when you can actually do both. And if you can manage with investment in your skill, this is the right time, because soon a lot of companies will be looking out for only experienced and skilled employees. They will not be taking any chance to upgrade you with internal training, to upgrade you with something bench strength. This will not be the case. So the time where you are having summer vacations, you are having a semester time before you sit for a campus placement, or you are deciding what to do now. Should I would be a JavaScript developer, or I should take a Python development? This is the right time where you can plan up for your skill. Yeah.
Yeah.
What will be
What
the
will be the
time
time
frame
frame
for the
for
first?
the first?
Okay.
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 I'll give you an
I'll give
idea.
you an idea.
So, uh, it's a kind of a training where 30 to 45 hours of interaction is required before you go for an assessment. So let's take an example, 30 hours of training followed by all those assignments and assessment that you will be doing after that, okay, side by side. So 30 hours of live intern training, followed by assessments, followed by mock test, and then 1 hour of that exam, okay, 1 hour of that online exam. So this will constitute around, you know, uh, 20 to 25 days, where 10 to 15 days of training, because I'm sure nobody can attend a training for 5 to 6 hours in a day. So 90 minutes to 120 minutes, 2 to 2.5 hours of training is maximum, okay, and followed by a preparation time for 5 days where you can create a project and appear for a global exam. So in short, this will be a 15 to 20 days of training program where you will be trained, you will develop a project, and finally you will appear for an online assessment, online certification of Microsoft. So that's how we have planned it.
And
We have planned
we have
it
planned it
for a
for a day,
daily schedule
daily schedule
that we'll be
that
sharing
we'll be
with
sharing with
everyone.
everyone.
And in that training, sir, you are giving the internship also for the student.
Yeah, so
Yeah. So
I'll give you an idea. What is the internship scenario? It happens like when you master a technology and you are confident and you are clearing a Microsoft certification. So there are a lot of companies who are looking out for pre-trained candidates who are certified from these vendors. So there will be an scenario where we'll be helping each and every candidate to sit for an internship, okay, and they can select what kind of internship they are looking out for. Are they looking for a game development internship, or a web development internship, or an internship that focuses majorly on project management using DevOps, or something related to testing? So those kinds of opportunities will be shared with candidates who are being trained and certified under our guidance. So this is what we have planned. Yes, Maz, it is compulsory to crack that exam with minimum 70%, okay, to get certified. And don't worry about it. If you're feeling that this is a very difficult exam, let me share you. Recently, I appeared for an exam on Azure, and next week I'm planning an exam on AI from Microsoft Azure again. I'll show you my LinkedIn, how these exams, works as a badges on your LinkedIn profile. So this is my LinkedIn, and I'm sure this is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir. It is visible.
So if you
so if
see how these Microsoft certification are, so I'll give you. So this is my Microsoft certification on Azure fundamentals. Okay, in June 2021, there is no expiry date for it. Similarly, and this is issued by Microsoft with a credential ID. Similarly, if I show you all the exams which I have been doing, so this includes Microsoft Office, Introduction to Python Programming, conducted, almost 3 years back. a database exam, an HTML5 exam. So these are some of the exam which I have been doing it for, sake of mastering and upgrading my skills. This involves Excel, cybersecurity also. Somewhere it is not something which I have been doing it, but this is something which goes for your hobby also. So the all exams are issued by Microsoft, and they have badges like this, which I'll show you. How does it look like? Something like this. An official badge is given to you from Microsoft. So these are the global, badges, and you can have these kinds of badges on your resume, LinkedIn, anywhere on your website. Like this is one badge for Azure Fundamental. This is for, in my hobby was on Photoshop, so I appeared for Photoshop certification along with a PowerPoint certification. So this says that, this is issued to me on 16th of June. Okay, and this covers cloud, Azure, networking, security, cloud services, virtualization, everything. And I can share it on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, or I can simply download this badge as a Microsoft certified Azure fundamental. So similarly, there would be a badge for Python also, and later on you can appear for these kinds of exams. So this is a digitally, signed exam which anyone can verify if required, and these dashboards are, same for everyone. Okay, so this is how it goes. I'm sure this answers everyone's concern about it. And you need to clear this exam. There is no certification which is offered just for participating it. And please don't confuse it with course completion certificate or a participation certificate. This is a global assessment exam which is given to certified candidates. Okay, just like you complete something on your own with some minimum marks. Make sense to everyone? How it is different from course completion or course completion or a participation certificate. This is a examination certification. Okay, so that's the whole thing. Do visit this form link to know more about the course content, what we have planned inside game development, to know more about the modules that we have seen. And it's more of learning while doing experience. Yeah, and throughout this training experience I'll share you more of it, how to make maximum of these kinds of certification and learning exams. When you're certified, you actually get some discounts on Microsoft products also. You might have seen a water bottle written Microsoft. A lot of student does that on on LinkedIn, that I receive these cool swags from Microsoft. So Microsoft provides that swags to certified candidates when they do something phenomenal, when they are participating in student ambassador programs, when they are winning any competition, when they are winning any hackathons. Those laptop stickers, water bottles, jackets written Microsoft. Okay, so they are offered to a lot of students. Yeah, so any other questions apart from it? If you're free, or you can post your questions on my LinkedIn also. I'm sure my voice is clear to everyone. I'm loud and clear to everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very audible.
Yeah. Any other question? Okay, so that's it from my side. If you have still any questions, can coordinate. Swapnil sir, you can contact me directly. I'll share you my.
Apurva, then you can now proceed for the next step.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Parth, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Apurva.
Thank you, Parth, sir.
Yeah.
Swapnil, this vote of
Yeah. Before the vote of thanks, I'm going to give you some brief about the courses. Shortly, we are going to announce the courses Mastering Python on Web and Game Development. If you are interested, then the registration link and the syllabus already I shared on the chat box. Please check this. Mm, Dear students and our long-time associated, the ACE trainer Parth Shukla. Parth sir, first of all, we cherish the association we have with you.
Thank you,
We
sir.
have no hesitation in putting on record that you are part of the growth story of our institute, PVPCOE and VA. As we sincerely appreciate your concern and the hard work you put in the training of our student and the student community in the general. Your technology quotation is really commendable and it is a boom to them. Thank you for being our trainer and you add value to our student and the institute. We sincerely thank you for this particular webinar. It is necessarily that student should go and vouch the global certification to master various technologies. We preferably under the need for such certification and would like to continue our association with you. To say the least, let us continue the training and add value to the students community. And students put effort and utilize the good resources like Path Sir. Also, I say thank you to the Campus Corner for arranging this valuable webinar to the student. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir.